Hello, everybody. Greetings, 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 greetings. Oh, oh God, I forgot about the Instagram. Hi, Trev. How are you doing, Trev? How's everyone doing today? For the people that are coming in that don't know me, I am darcellandre. I'm a holistic interventionist and hoodoo practitioner. Okay, and I am here today to have some Q&A. I was going to do some readings earlier, but I'm going to push that to the evening. Instead, I said, let's have a Hoodoo Heritage Month Q&A. Let's have a Hoodoo Q&A. Let me put this on the screen so we can see it. Great opportunity, everybody. Good opportunity. How's everyone doing? Hold on. Let me see. Hoodoo Q&A. Perfect. Put that up here. Put that thing up here. Boom. Paste that. Boom. Save that. Have that on the screen so that everyone can see this. Okay. Good. I think this is good. I think you can see good up here. Great opportunity. Grateful for a new day. I know that's right. Hey, Khadijah. Hello. Hello. Hey. Hey, Letitia. Happy to see everybody here. So, yeah, the purpose of this, we're talking about Hoodoo Heritage Month. Is Erica Badu a hoodoo practitioner? I'm sure Erica participates. Erica Badu gives me, she's more of a free-forming spiritualist. Is there some hoodooization that she practices? I'm sure. But she also is closely tied to like Kemet, those practices, but she does a variety of spiritual practices. So she is like a free-flowing spiritualist. That's what I would say. That is centered in African spirituality and Black American spirituality. Is that Darcel? Hey, hi Ace. Yes, it is. I'm sitting here bundled up, bundled up. Okay. And y'all, let me tell you something. I'm gonna hold on to this beard for a little while longer while I'm in this show. But this beard is coming off once the show is over. So just go get used to it for a little bit, but prepare for it to change. So yeah, she practices I would say freeform spirituality, because it is not at all just one way, one thing. She has really done the research to study different spiritual mediums, different religions, and things like that. So, that's her thing. And I love that. That's why she is as free as she is, because she is not bound by one spiritual modality or one religion or any of that. Well, you know what, Ace? I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that, Ace. And I hear that. But it's getting ready to go. I'm in this show till October 31st. On the 31st at 11 p.m., it's getting up out of here. Okay. Yeah. You look very comfy and cozy today. Thank you. I feel that. I feel very comfy and cozy. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Toria. Good afternoon. Great opportunity. Hey, Glow. Hey, hey, hey. Look, all the people y'all rolling in. Yeah. We're talking Hoodoo Heritage Month. So let's talk. What questions do we have? What do we want to address? or the day before. Either right. It's gonna be up out of here. Let me see, what have I been seeing a lot of? So a lot of times, is Hoodoo Delish an accurate Hoodoo reference? Let me make sure that is who I think you're talking about. Hoodoo Delish. Yeah. Is this who I... So this is first we're gonna start here. This is a white woman. We're gonna start right there. We're just gonna start right there. So the answer is gonna be no. Let me look at this. Crab shell powder. Undo black magic spell. Crab shell powder. Hyssop oil. Myrrh, high john root, black salt, rose leaves. Where is the uncrossing herb? And crab shell, if you use crab shell, sometimes folks do a crab shell. They use the shell of a blue crab to cover their work, to hide their work. Hyssop is a purifier. What's going on here? This is the same. Yes, this is who I thought it was. This woman is a colonizer. Not only that, I remember one time she had a butter candle. And when I saw the butter candle, that's when I was through with it. Now let's talk about hoodoo and race, and hoodoo being a close practice. The issue here is that hoodoo was specifically birthed from the resistance and the resilience of the enslaved African. That's the key here. That's the key. So if you and Yorn are not in any way, shape, or form of that experience, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's the problem. That's the problem with this. And here's the other key aspect of hoodoo, which is why this doesn't make sense. As a hoodoo practitioner, as a practitioner of root work, of Black American spirituality, you work with your ancestors. Sarah, Taylor, Stephanie, Emily. What ancestors are you working with for this hoodoo practice? You see what I'm saying? But this is why we have to be mindful in the history. There was this big thing in the late 80s, I think more so the 90s, where white folks were usurping hoodoo practices from conjurers and creating books based upon what they thought it was and capitalizing off of that. This is what she's doing. So again, Emily, my question to you would be, what ancestors are you working with? This is crazy to me. Like, what ancestors are you working with? And again, this was specifically birthed out of the resistance and the resilience. Hoodoo practice is not only a form of healing, but it is also a form. Resistance is key here. Overturning injustice is key here. Leveling the scales is key here. What scales did you, as a white woman, need level? And you don't have the story on your tongue. You don't have the truth in your blood to inform you and to activate the energy present within these workings. You don't have the DNA. You don't. It is no different than when you go to New Orleans and there's all these voodoo shops, hoodoo shops, and it's white folks in it. Okay? It's the same thing. Yeah, because she's a colonizer. That's it. And people are really following her because the Afrocentric usage of hoodoo, but the appeal of witchy stuff. You know what I'm saying? White witchy culture. That's why she is getting this. Because that's crazy. Ooh, child. Child. Next. What are we talking about here? In hoodoo, what does it mean? Yep, and understand. No problem. To be God's handmaiden. I don't know what that means. God's handmaiden. who said that? Where did you hear that from? A handmaiden is somebody who does the will, and that's someone who is subservient. Used the term, but I wasn't sure of the root. That sound like some colonizer stuff. That sound like some white supremacist, religious, misogynistic stuff. I'm the handmaiden of God. Handmaiden, that is a female servant. Yeah, that's strange. I've never heard that, Annie. I guess they feel like because great great grandpa attacked one of his enslaved women, they part black. If you have entered into a lineage through assault, pillaging, and forced sexual encounters, how dare you? How dare you? That's crazy. Successologist said, I have a plant on my altar that died, probably because my altar is in my closet. Yeah, out of the sun. Should I get a plant that doesn't need sunlight? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, so that's the first problem. The sunlight. The sun said, the plant said, dear God. And also you could get herbs too, period. Just put some herbs up there too as just a part of it if you can't do the plant, if the plant is not working. But the plant is to represent, life and growing and life, but life period. So you can do fresh herbs, you can do fresh flowers instead of the plant, and just replace them as need be. You can do that. That's what I took from it. It didn't sit right with me. Yeah, no. And that's also another thing. Let me tell you something. I tell you this, and this is the principle that I stand on. I don't participate in any religion, any spiritual activity, any spiritual practices that I see diminish the women. Period. I don't participate in any practices that I see diminish, limit, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Or devalue the women or the feminine. Period. Period. And so you have to be mindful, even stepping outside of hoodoo and speaking to these different priests or priestesses and Ianifas and Babalawos and all that. I need you to be very careful about the perspectives on the feminine. Be very careful about the perspectives on the women, because there is a spirit of supremacy that is there. And it is the spirit of supremacy that births racism and misogyny and homophobia and transphobia and the enslavement of Black people. So we just have to be mindful about that. You're welcome, successologist. That's it. And also, you got to know that some of the traditional hoodoo practitioners are looking from a lens that comes through a Christian lens and also just a Southern old-timey traditional lens. So they tend to be problematic. They tend to be internally misogynistic if they're women, or if they are men, they're just misogynistic in their views, because they are connected to and believe in often a version of the divine that is male, okay, and that is superior and supremacist, excuse me. So you have to be mindful of that. And they will then attach that fear-mongering aspect that has come from Christianity to the ancestors. Your ancestors should not scare you, okay? If you don't put a piece of peach cobbler on your altar, your ancestors should not ruin your finances. That's not how that works. That's not your ancestor. If this is an ancestor who is supposed to be for your wellness and for your betterment, to destroy parts of your life because you have made a mistake, is insane. And that is fear mongering. And that is a form of indoctrination that is still lingering with them. Okay? That's it. And that's my stance, and I'm sticking to it. A lot of them always suppress women's spiritual connection, and do. You suppress women because you suppress the feminine. And you have assigned feminine energy to female. And that's not true. I want you to, listen, everybody here who has had an experience where they have heard from God, a wellness-centered experience, where they have heard from God, where there has been God, source, spirit dropping something into them. Has it felt like a man? Has it felt like this masculine man talking to you? No. It's felt like a mother. And that's just it. No. 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 Please talk more. No, wait, hold up. Give an honor real quick before playground. Give thanks to you. You have given me permission to navigate my anti-racist title and what to really call my craft. Come on, you're welcome. Thank you. Felt like higher self, feisty female warrior. No. So we got to cut this out. We got to cut it out. So this successologist asked me, please talk more about feminine energy not having to be female. Yes. The divine feminine energy. Another word for divine feminine is divine being, to be. In that energy, right? Because we're talking about energy. The divine don't have a penis or a vagina. There was not a physical flesh here, right? So I want you to, for a second, get rid of the language of divine feminine and divine masculine. I just want us to eliminate that language for this time being and use the language divine being and divine doing. Okay? Divine being and divine doing. Give me 1 second. Here are some aspects of the divine being: to be, flow, mystery, creativity, intuitive, intuition, embracing, the unknown, a body-based truth, emotional, instinctual, nurturing, desire, care. This is divine being. That is not inherently female or male. When your intuition kicks in, that is a divine being energy. Okay? That's divine being energy. Divine doing energy. To be is the existing, right? To do is the action. Divine doing energy is logic, right? Because it's about execution. It's about willpower to do. It is about authority, right? Because there's execution here. It's about organization because that's about execution. It's about strategy because that is how you're going to do what you've been told. So the divine being is the wisdom. It's the spiritual knowledge. It's the divine knowing, which is why it's intuition, which is why it's creativity. The divine doing is the execution of what the divine being has said. So the divine feminine tells the divine masculine what to do. And if that is the case, if we have been living in a world that has discounted the divine feminine and has only been in the divine masculine, that means it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers doing some stuff that they don't know what they're supposed to do. And that's why you have chaos. That's why you have controlling energy. That's why you have harshness. That's why you have all of this abusive, competitive energy. Because the divine masculine alone does not have the insight as to what to do. Because the divine feminine is the wisdom. The divine feminine is the spiritual knowledge. So intuition does not belong to a male or a female. It belongs to a person who is balanced and connected to their divine being energy. Logic and execution does not belong to a male or to a female. That is somebody who is seeking to execute what their divine knowing has said. You can't do if you don't be. You can't do anything well or successful if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. So the divine feminine is not about female. The divine masculine is not about male. But the fact that we have dumbed it down and reduced it to that is the reason why even in the spiritual community, we have division. Because they work together. They are parts of the same thing, the same unit. But if you make this male, that makes men able to dominate somebody. And that births and breeds superiority. That brings about supremacy. And the reason why when your spirit kicked in or you heard God speak to you, it didn't sound like a masculine energy is because the divine feminine governs the intuition. So you would have never heard from God the Father. Because God the Father wouldn't tell you anything. God the Father would help you execute what God the Mother has said. That's a whole nother class, yeah. It's a whole nother class. So you in church, because they're supremacists and because they're patriarchal and misogynist, they have eliminated the woman. And it happened, it's even in the Bible. You see where Yahweh told the Israelites to destroy the Asherah poles. And if you look up the Asherah poles, it was about God the Mother. And so you have this destroying of that. And they've uplifted God the Father. They're calling upon the execution. But when you do that, an energy that would have been organized, because it's now hyper, right? Because that's the only thing that you're putting all the energy to. Organized turns into controlling. Authority turns into domineering. Leading would turn into abuse. Focus turns into isolation. Structure turns into rigidity. And that's the church. That's religion. You are welcome. You're welcome, successologist. When it is about the balance of both. You also can't be completely invested in your divine being that you don't be a participant in executing what the divine being has said. So you could be too in the divine feminine energy, that what would be patience turns into procrastination. What would be flow and flexibility has now turned to easily manipulated. What would be receptive has now turned into submissive. What would be spontaneous has now turned to sloppy. You see what I'm saying? So it's about balancing it out. And when we have our class on it, I'm gonna get into the numerology because it's proven in the numerology. So the biggest trick bag is to recognize the divine authority as male. That's the trick bag. Because execution is simply that. But you see, the feminine is also about sustainability. The masculine is not thinking about that. That's not why that energy exists. That's why men in this society who are underneath the patriarchy and only view themselves as masculine don't live long and got all types of health issues because the feminine energy, they're not accepting that. They're not operating in that. And the feminine energy says, how, I know what you're doing, but how are you being? And because the society has been set up where women believe they're just feminine and men believe that they're just masculine, guess what happens? When a woman marries a man and they're in a marriage together, the man lives longer. Why? Because this man who believes he's just masculine has united with someone who is feminine. Okay? And the feminine energy is saying, you need to go to your doctors. You need to get some more sleep. You're not eating right. And keeping the masculine on track. Guess what the statistics also show? That when a woman is in a marriage with a man, the woman lifespan decreases. So she dies sooner. Why? Because in this traditional society, she being just feminine and him being just masculine don't have anybody that's trying to tend to her. And then she has turned herself into the martyr. Because she's in her hyper feminine. And she's overgiving. She's old. She don't have no boundaries. She's self-sacrificing. And thus, her lifespan decreases. That's the science. That's the science. That's my wife all day. Well, that's me too. Yeah. And so you cultivate that by wait till I do the class. Because this is a longer, I had to go and break it down. And we're not quite doing that today. This is the Hoodoo Q&A. I've already given a lot on it. But this is the Hoodoo Q&A. That's what we're supposed to do today. But there's a divine being and a divine doing. That's it. And neither is inherent to a male or a female, or rather exclusive to a male and a female. The question is, both energies are in me. Am I operating in both of my energies, or have I been operating in an imbalance? It's the trickery. It's the trickery. And to reduce the divine feminine down to baking biscuits and being soft and wearing ear muffins and all types of shit. Feminine in a societal form versus feminine in a spiritual form, these are not the same thing. Feminine societally may look a certain way. You may have the aesthetic, right? You may have the softness, the colors, the thing. That's societal, and that's made up shit. That's what men made up. Baking biscuits always takes me out. Listen, from scratch. Societally masculine and spiritually masculine are two different things. Those are two different things. Societally masculine means that you talk a certain way, you walk a certain way, you probably out here damn chopping wood. Okay. I'm the man of this family. Okay. That may be how that shows up. Okay. But spiritually masculine don't got nothing to do with you out here chopping wood and being hairy and chilling with the boys and watching basketball. Spiritually masculine is a visionary. Spiritually masculine is fixing and helping. Spiritually masculine is consciousness, it's structure, it's purposeful, it's organized, it's strategic, it's independent, it's rational, it's scientific. You chopping wood, playing basketball, hanging with the boys, burping, drinking beer, talking in a deep voice and having a beer, that's not spiritually masculine. You breaking up. Thank you for sharing all you have. No problem. Big facts. The Big Mamas wasn't just about that. They made nations and healed. Thank you. My great grandmother, Mama Lily Laura Billups, Lily Laura Tolliver was a woman who was balanced in her energy. How do I know? She not only raised, healed, nurtured generations of children, but guess what? She was strategic. She was protective. She had a plan. She was logical. She was diligent in her routines. She stayed on top of it. She grew all her food. And wasn't nobody sick. And guess what? And a man could not stay there at her home. Impossible. Uncles, cousins could not stay at her home. And if you tried to, there was a shotgun bullet or 12 that you would receive. Because she said that I am going to protect the children at all costs. Balanced. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Now, again, we're supposed to be talking about the hoodoo, and now here I am talking about the patriarchy. And so the conversation of women trying to be a mother and a father, are we talking about societally? Or are we talking about from an energetic space? You think, there you go, separating the feminine and the masculine, regulating to a man, regulating to a woman. A child needs an example of a beer and a doer. That's what a child needs. So whether it's one woman or one man, two women, two men, whatever, the child needs an example of someone who is a beer and a doer. If you just a beer, you're not really a doer, put somebody in their life or put them around somebody that's going to be a doer. My nieces don't have appropriate male figures in their paternal lineage. But guess what my nieces have? Uncles. My nephew has an uncle that you not listening to what your mother said. Okay, I'm going to come with the structure. I'm going to show you the execution. I'm coming with the strategy to get you on the right track. So it's not about gender. It's about who is the beer, who's the doer. Are you both, or do you need somebody to help and be a beer because you just a doer? Pull that person into their life so they have that example and that energy. Okay. Hoodoo question. So, do you have any advice for learning how to read playing cards? I don't read playing cards, so I'm not sure about that. What I've understood is that there are different ways to read them. I just don't know, boo. I don't know how to read playing cards. I'm not familiar with that form of divination. I just threatened my son this morning about taking him to see his uncle. And there you have it. Okay? There you have it. And it's some men who are not doers. And their mother, the mother, is the doer. So it don't even be, it's not that. What I can say, Toria, is a tip about cards. A lot of time people, they don't refresh their cards. And a way that you could do that is taking some cornstarch or some flour. That's a hoodoo way. And sifting it through your cards and refreshing your cards. Because sometimes your divination tools got stagnant energy. That's a tip. Okay. Let me see. Hoodoo question. Are there ancestors that are tricksters or somehow not for our greater good? I asked the question above. Okay. Let me say this. There are spirits that are tricksters that are not for your greatest good. Yes. Those spirits exist. But this is why when we have to refresh them. Honestly, I like to refresh my things when I do like my cleanses monthly. So when the tarot, yeah, when I do my cleanses monthly, when I refresh my home, I put my protection stuff and everything, I like to reset my cards then. Okay, so there are spirits that are not well. So that's why when we go to our ancestor altar or we're working with our divination tools or whatever, the herbs that we're burning or the spray that we spray, the cleansing things that we have, banish negativity. So it couldn't be a negative spirit in here doing this if you tried. You know? So it don't matter. But that's the key. We don't realize that we're opening up portals, we're opening up things. And also, I will say this. Don't give into the fear mongering because there is more of your ancestors and your energies and spirits connected to you that are well than there are those trying to trip you up. You know what I'm saying? And you will know, though, this another thing. You will know. Because what is being asked to do for you to do? Are they asking you to do something that is wellness centered? And what is the feeling? Come on, divine feminine. What's the feeling? Does it feel in the body? Not what you think. Does it feel like it's wrong? Because you will feel it. That there's something, I don't know about this. When I say I need to cover my head, a Korean shaman told me that folks I'm channeling aren't supposed to be here. They're holding me back. Yeah. That's if you do your cleanses, you do your protection work, you have your spray, and you ain't got to do a full ritual. Where's it's my bottle? I must have brought it into the front. But I have a spray bottle, a blue bottle that I have my Florida water recipe in there. I got my vinegar. I got my banishing, cleansing, purifying. Guess what I do? I spray that. I spray that on me when I come from being out in places. I spray that on me once I'm done doing sessions because I'm cleansing my palate of anything that's negative. So I don't have this worry of something coming in. And do you hear the fear mongering in that? That's very much akin to Christian. You're dealing with familiar spirits. They acting like they're your family, but they demon. Do you track that line of thinking? Do you have any Caribbean spiritualists as mutuals I can listen to? Caribbean? No, not that I can think of. I'm sorry. Your divine ancestors won't allow anyone, even family, to hold you back or hinder your growth. Thank you. Another thing, too, before I do divination spiritual, I always say a protection prayer. Call the divine and your spirit team for spiritual guidance and protection. That's right. What are some cleansing and or protection remedies suitable for toddlers? Lemon cleanses. That's Hoodoo tradition. You can take a lemon. Don't have to cut it because sometimes that astringent juice and stuff from the lemons are too harsh for the baby's skin. You take that lemon and rub it on the baby, cleansing, pulling off anything that's negative, praying over the baby. And they'll have fun with it because it's being rolled over their skin. It's a little cool. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you can easily do. Some that I always recommend is creating some type of protection oil. Or doing some herbs. I know I don't want to say that because that may not work out well. I tell the people make a protection oil or protection water, whatever you want to do. And when you wash your baby's clothes, put a drop of that oil in the washing machine. Easy. Take some protection oil, drop it in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? When they're going places. That's really simple to do. Make a little mojo bag, put it in their diaper bag. So if they have to go with their loved one, or they have to go with the daddy or the family, whatever, and then you need to take their diaper bag, put you a little mojo bag in their diaper bag. That protects them. Or herbs and things that are for protection to cover the child. Hey, Grace. Oh my God, Grace is so funny. Oh my God. When I tell you I scream, every video. Every time I see Grace on live, I scream. I love you too, Grace. I add some to my son's hair oil. That's also another thing. I love Grace. Y'all, Grace is hilarious. I'm telling you. Gracie the Shero on TikTok. She is hilarious. Oh my God. I be on the ground every chance. Every chance I get. Every chance she get to come across, I be on the ground. Yeah, so that's what I'd say. And baby, it don't miss. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really wish a lot of people did more work over their children. Could help them with a whole bunch of stuff. I had some family where I made their child was struggling in school, and I made some focus and concentration oil for them. And he went to school, and before he took a test, he have his oil, or before he go into the class, he put his oil on, rub his oil on, rub it on his temples, or even in the morning before they leave for school. That's a part of the routine. And he been doing just fine. Okay. What else we talking about? What else you want to know about? Oh, y'all got me reading to people, child, for their inadequacies and colonizer actions. This Hoodoo Delish lady, that is terrorizing me. Where is she even from? She got a whole website. Hoodoo Delish is dedicated to sharing good old-fashioned hoodoo tips, tricks, and spells. Ancient traditions mingle with new ideas to make living, breathing, life-changing power of hoodoo magic. In times of crisis, our ancestors have always turned to the power of the earth. Y'all, y'all, she said, in times of crisis, our ancestors have always turned to the power of the earth, the spirits, and people to change their reality. Miss Abby, lifelong practitioner. You a lifelong practitioner of hoodoo and a magic enthusiast, white lady, founded Hoodoo Delish to spread her passion for the simple, empowering traditions of hoodoo and other traditional North American folk magic practices. You see how she conveniently is eliminating anything having to do with Black people. Anything. She's eliminating that. This is insane. She lives in Texas with her beloved witchy hoodoo cat. Yes, this is a white lady. Send help, y'all. And she should have been canceled before she started. Crazy. Oh, God. Going forward. New to hoodoo. Come on, new to hoodoo. Eliminate it. How did you make it? Do you have any books that are good for beginners? Yeah, well, if you first take a second and think about your family, your family has been doing it, but not calling it that. Your ancestors, chances are they didn't use that language. Some of them called it doing the Lord's work. Some of it called it root work, working the roots. That's the most common thing, roots, root work, working the roots. Okay. So, but if you take a second and examine your family, you've already started. Okay. It's about moving forward with a level of intentionality and doing your research. Your research, as in talking to people, listening to people, reading things from Black folks. And the truth in hoodoo is in the stories, not just the recipe, because you do need the context. Okay? So, book I would recommend is please hold. My Kindle takes me through it every time. Working the Roots by Michelle E. Lee. I would suggest that to start with. And also I want you to ask yourself this question. Why do you want to learn? I feel like I'm talking harshly. I don't mean to be harsh. I feel like I'm just in my blunt energy. My question is, why do you want to learn, right? Ask yourself that. Why do I want to learn? Do I want to learn this? And be real with yourself, because your intention is going to determine your success. Did y'all peep that? Your intention is going to determine your success. So you want to make sure your intention is right. And if it's wrong, you're going to have to get that intention together before you dive into it. Do you want to start to learn hoodoo because you've seen some stuff, you trying to get back at somebody, you want to be cool? It seems like something that's cool to do. I would encourage you to get a clearer, concise, and more intentional, purpose-filled reason. Tito, how are my babies? First of all, Tito, you would know how your babies are if you ever came to see them. Tito is my cyber baby daddy, and he has not come to see his kids. And at this point, I don't even know the kids remember him. That's where we're at. So, but see, when I tried to invite Tito over, and I said, I made some food, just come by and eat some food. Tito didn't want to come by. Tito, not the witchy. Tito didn't want to come by. And I did realize that when I invited him over, the kids were not going to be at home. But the point is, and did I grease up my legs and just get freshly out the shower when I invited him? I did. But the point is, he did not come by when he had the opportunity. Now that's it. I did grease up my legs. Yes, I did. Did I have some come to me oil burning? I did. But the point is, okay, don't worry about it. Let me go back to sleep. My day just started. Me and Tito, I terrorize Tito every time I see him on live. Okay. Happy Hoodoo Heritage Month. Thank you. So we got to be clear. We got to be clear about this. Not grease up the legs. Listen, hey, there's a reason why we had these kids, okay? And I just thought you need to remember. That's what I thought. But don't worry about it. But it is about checking your intention. Your intention is going to determine your success, y'all. So if your intention ain't good, it's gonna crumble. I love you too, Tito. It's gonna crumble. Now, if you're trying to just be a hoodoo practitioner because you think it's cool and all that, it's a problem. Let me go before I turn the live into something else. And then we'll have baby number 4. And we don't want to do that. Okay, we struggling with the 3 we got. All right. Carrying on. I thought there was 2. You see, didn't it? Because you're forgetful. You forgot about the 3rd one. Because that's, don't worry about it. It's but this is how they carry on. This is how they do you. And then they get in public and try to embarrass you. Trying to make me look like a whore. Ah! Oh my God. Bye, Tito. She's trying to look. Yes. Yeah, so our intention. We have to check the intention. Don't be learning it just so you could just be. I don't know what that means, but y'all know exactly what I mean when I do that. People want to be hoodoo practitioners because they like the aesthetic. Because you know what is also necessary for hoodoo? or tenet of hoodoo is, friend, are we talking about plant babies? No, I have been pregnant 3 times. What are we talking about here, Lady G? What are we talking about? I don't let y'all see my kids. Don't worry about it. 3. Because I'm real protective of my children's energy. Okay? Listen. It's hard out here. What was I just talking? What was I just saying? Somebody remind me. Your name's face. Get back from them, baby. Except that time we used them to block. Oh God. Your intention. Whatever I was saying, y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. Just do the right thing. Oh, boom. I remember. A key tenet of hoodoo culture and Black culture. Here's the key. It's what you do for your community. Your community could be your city. Your community could be your neighborhood. Hold up. Your community could be your city. Your community could be your neighborhood. Your community could be your family. Your community could be your circle of friends. But you are also of service to your community. So if you are a reader, you a seer, you are that for your community. If you are a healer, you are that for your community. If you are a root worker, you are that for your community. My family knows as soon as they get sick, Darcel, because something about his hands, when he makes it, I get better. And it is true. If you sick and I make you a tea, you be good in the next 2 days from the vid. Okay, so they know. Yes, I can save it. I think it'll save to my page, I think. If not, it's being streamed on my YouTube, lady. So if you go to my YouTube, darcellandre, it's on my YouTube. If it don't save to my Instagram. Yeah, so what are you doing for your community? For your family, for your friend circle, for your city? Those come get some tea. They already know. Thank you. Oh, wow. Baby, it is. It's a slippery slope. You don't need to be too much of anything, ain't a good thing. So we got to be in the balance. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's the being. How do we know we're doing too much? Because when you're overdoing, you're so far in the hyper masculine, you fall out. You get sick. Your body stop. Your body break down. Now you wore out because your being is suffering because of your overdoing. When if you was hear this, if you was listening to your being, listening to your body would have told you, excuse me, was telling you that you need to stop. You need to slow down. And you're not listening. That's the feminine being like, all right, keep it up. Ain't that the language? Keep it up. Mm-hmm. When I tell you, I know hypermasculinity and toxic masculinity hate to see me coming. Because I'm coming with the facts. Like the illusion that males are supposed to be the head of the household. Oh, shall I go there? Ah, ah. It is an untruth. It's an untruth. Difficulty to identify. One of the things I look forward to studying is the cross effects of community workers during Corona, and I became a mother. Oh, wow. I look forward to finding ways to participate in the culture now. Right. I learned my lesson the hard way on that subject. Yeah. Because guess what? It don't sustain. Why? Because that was never, ever what the design was supposed to be. And you have all these black men on these podcasts talking about stuff like they know what they're talking about, and they're not. Why? Because even the pressure that the black men who are trying to subscribe to that are putting on themselves is not something that is sustainable for any one person. It was never true that the standard, that's right, Miss Vaughn. It was never true that the standard for the black family was the woman staying home, not working, and the black man working, providing, doing everything. That is not true. Okay? That's not the standard. How do we know that's not the standard? How do we know it's not the history? Because why do we have the thousand upon thousands of images of black women as housekeepers and maids and all the other laborious jobs? Because black women have always worked in conjunction with their spouse for their family. What are we talking about? that reality wasn't even true for poor whites. That was for the elite, rich, and wealthy white men. And so when I see men today saying, well, we gone wrong, our women want jobs and careers, our women want businesses, they so masculine. No, they've come out of the hyper feminine, the hyper being space that you have regulated them to, and they're bringing their energy to balance. And that's threatening you because you can't be superior over an equal. And so your supremacist ideologies and internalized supremacy is taking over and being triggered. That's what's happening. No. And it was a trick bag for the women who did have that experience. Because guess what happened? Guess what happened? Once Ray done convinced you to just stay home and work for 10, 15 years, then Ray boo-boo go and cheat, or decide he don't want to be with you no more. Now all these years have passed and you don't have no money saved up. You try to get a job, but you ain't worked in 15 years. And now what you are doing? You are relegated to have to deal with boo-boos, cheating, and craziness until you get your plan together. It's a trick. Don't fall for it. You always want to, you don't, you listen. It sounds like fun. That was good, lady. Again, this reminds me of what I learned about in college, history, Black women, about Black femininity and desire to join Islam in the 70s because we heard that we could finally rest. And it was a trick bag to this day. Femininity is also, though, again, finally rest, but being made to rest. Rest in certain ways, right? Femininity, feminism is about making sure women have the choice. That's what feminism is about. Especially Afrocentric feminism. Black women's feminism. White women's feminism came through the thievery of Black women's feminist efforts. So when men try to say that the feminist movement is white, they're lying. You are undermining all of the Black feminists who have been working for centuries. Huge Black feminists in the 1800s. Maybe you heard of her. Sojourner Truth. Maybe you heard of her. Child, Ida B. Wells, late 1800s, early 1900s. There's so many Black women who were active prior to the 60s and 70s emergence of white feminism. So it's a trick. Don't let these men lie to you. Every time they try to say it's a white thing, go and list Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, Mary Church Terrell, E.W. Harper, Anna Julia Cooper. She went from slavery to a PhD. Fannie Williams. And the host of others. Oh, one in particular. Hold on. Why is her name or their name escaping me? Polly Murray, who was a queer, now we have a better language to describe this individual, who was AFAB, which means assigned female at birth, meaning with female organs, but blurred the lines of gender. Polly Murray specifically was a civil rights activist, a lawyer, a priest, and created legal work that was used to create the strategies in the civil rights movement. Polly Murray. If it wasn't for Polly Murray and Polly Murray's work, the civil rights movement would not have been what we know it to be. It would not have been as successful as it was. It was what Polly Murray created that was used in the arguments, in the court cases, that helped to win our rights. So we're not going to do that. Okay? We're just not going to do it. And so for those reasons and those reasons alone, when I start to see some masculine and toxically masculine, misogynistic stuff, I have to hit the big red button and log out. Because not only can I not take it, I won't take it. That's it. Okay. Good people of ours, I've been on for an hour and 30 minutes, and I do have some other things that I need to do. I have a session that I must attend. If you do want to book a session with me, a root work consultation with me, because you said, Darcy, I need to shake some rocks and blow some smoke. If you want to book a reading with me, if you want to book a text message reading, because I have the text message readings available, go to the link in the description or to the link in my bio and book that session. You need a coaching session because you need a plan. Like Darcellandre said, I need to know the practices. I need a 30-day plan to reset myself. Book that coaching program, coaching session, and I will create that for you. Whatever it is you need to do. I love y'all from a light-filled place. Go forth and conquer. And if you learned something today that was impactful, share it. Take care of your community by bringing back to the community something that they can prosper from. All right, y'all. Peace, everybody.